Yeah, poor batting throughout the series. But I would see that as an excuse. If anyone on our team used that, certainly that's not the language I've heard in the dressing room. Whatever's happened in the past has got absolutely no bearing on you playing a test match of cricket. You have to, as a batter, everywhere around the world where you go, you have to adapt your technique, your mindset, and score runs on whatever you get in front of you on the day. So for me, that's an absolute no-no. This was a very good pitch, and I think both teams throughout the series has batted poorly. Today was the first time that two guys put a partnership together and made it look easy. I can tell you that when I was batting in both innings, I felt like it was a really good batting pitch. And then, as I said, both teams didn't put the runs that they should have. I can't tell you why, because, I mean, what was it, 28 wickets fell in 2 days, or 30 wickets in 2 days, on a wicket where you should be scoring a lot more runs. So for me, the why would be probably, I think, mentally we're just a little bit soft and in giving our wickets away. Test cricket is about fighting it out and grinding it out and making sure you get bowlers got to earn your wicket. And for most of the series, all of our batters gave the wickets away pretty easily. I don't know, to be honest. I can't tell you. I can't give you that answer. A lot of the guys here are not in the one-day team. That has underperformed this series as well, that haven't been playing in the one-day team, so that shouldn't be the case. Whether that's weighing on some of the guys' minds, I can't tell you. For me, it's not. I can only speak for myself. I'm extremely motivated to whatever game I play, whether it's for the test or one day, to try my best and to score runs for the team. Obviously, Sri Lanka had a lot of new faces. I think that's probably something we were lacking. Normally you play a team, you've got quite a bit of footage on them, and you've played against them a few times. They had quite a new faces, and they were just too good for us. I mean, that's as simple as that. For a guy to make his debut in a series to be the leading wicket taker, that's not the norm. So we didn't play him well. It's okay if it happens in a once-off innings where you've never faced a bowler, but when you've had one test match, you've had a look at him, you should be a lot better in the second test match. Definitely. The wicket was really slow when we batted day one, and whether we batted first or seventh or eighth, we would have still, the runs was poor. You know, we didn't score the runs. Sri Lanka we got a lead of, I think, what is it, 60 runs. Found it batting there in the first innings. The ball was really, really slow off the deck, and that's exactly what we thought was going to happen. Our bowling attack, we need a bit of pace and bounce. We know, obviously, when we're playing on these conditions, it's not the quickest pitches. So my experience from playing at St George's, it does get quicker on day two, and that was the case. So if you look at the two first innings as having a 60-run lead, that puts the toss speculation to bed. And then we batted even worse in the second innings, which would, you know, it shouldn't be the case. So no, absolutely not. Still would have batted first. It's difficult to say. I mean, I'm probably not. You know, you're talking about a top order that is experienced. You're talking about guys like Dean Elgar, Hashim Amla. So if you're talking about them to be replaced, you know, that's a big call. Those guys have done well for a very long time. They're good players. One series doesn't make you a bad player. If it happens over 2 or 3 or 4 series, yes, then of course, every single player in the team needs to perform. And I mean, obviously, if you've played for a long time, I think you're almost allowed to have one bad series, because it's going to happen where you're not performing every single series. But if it happens over a period of time, of course we look at it. But I can also tell you that it's not just as easy as walking in from domestic cricket and performing. You can look at the two next guys who's played them. Obviously, Tiana Sabrain is the next best batter in the country that's been waiting for a while, and then Hamza was the other guy. And if you take their records, it's not better than Dean Elgar or Hashim Amla or myself or any of those batters. So it's always easy to say when those guys aren't performing, to say get new faces in, but it doesn't always happen like that. You know, it's Test cricket, it's supposed to be harder. But of course, this series, our top order didn't score the amount of runs they shouldn't against the attack, which we should have done better. Yeah, they've been better than us, obviously home and away. when you go to Sri Lanka, you try and compete, you try and make sure you have an opportunity to win the series. But I played there obviously in their own backyard with their skill sets they have, the way they play spin and the way they, obviously the amount of spinners they have bowling at us. But for me, there's no excuse when Sri Lanka comes here. We have to be a lot better. They're allowed to play some good cricket, but the cricket we have been playing at home for the last 2-3 seasons, if we were anywhere close to that, we should have beaten this team. And we weren't on top of our own game. We didn't score the amount of runs that we wanted to. I thought the bowling was good. If you take before today, even the Sri Lankan batting unit was underperforming in terms of runs. Obviously Pereira played a great knock, but the whole series has been down on the batting front. And I thought the two bowling sides bowled really well. But yeah, extremely disappointed. Probably, I can sit here and say that probably my biggest low being played in the Proteas team, losing to Sri Lanka at home. That's not nice. So obviously we've got to try and make sure we get over this as quick as possible, because there's very important cricket ahead. Obviously a one-day series coming up, and then 2 months later it's the World Cup. So mentally we need to make sure that we get as strong as quickly as possible. I think it's unrelated. The last time we spoke about pitches to groundsmen especially was 2 seasons ago. This last season where we played, there was not any communication from us as the team towards the groundsmen. There was no, this is what we want. As I said, 2 seasons ago we tried that and it didn't work as well as we wanted to. So this season has been, for me, my understanding, it's been the same as what you speak about as seasons before, where it's just groundsmen prepare the wickets that they used to. I think in general our conditions of the pitches, obviously there's been a lot of cricket being played on it and a lot of the pitches are tired, so you aren't getting those good batting surfaces in the past that you used to, and I think that's a world problem. It's not just a problem we have in South Africa. The amount of runs being scored on test pitches is lower these days. They are preparing it a little bit more conducive to results. So that's a thing that's happening worldwide. Yeah, so there's nothing that we can change there. I think what's happened this series is if you take the Pakistan series, we played, obviously our fast bowlers on those pitches are a massive handful with the amount of pace and bounce. And when you play in Durban and PE, there won't be that pace and bounce, so you have to find different skill sets. And as I said, we did bowl well through the series. The only thing is the runs wasn't there. If we had 400s on the boards, 350s on the board on pitches that was conducive for runs, then we would have been, the result would have been different. Yeah, I mean, I know that Dwan has had that ability to pitch the ball up and move it around. I think if you look at, once again, the pitches that we played on when he played his first few tests of the summer was more bouncier wickets, and the variety in our attack that we had with Vern and Dale and Kagiso is the fact that you've got variety there. So we were in a position where we could use him as an enforcer and come in and bowl short, quick spells of bowling fast bounces, and it worked for him. I'm obviously getting 20, I think he got 24 wickets in the series, but obviously before the series we had 2 different pitches where we played on, and the message to him was that the lengths would need to change a little bit. Obviously his bouncer would still be very effective, but as soon as we lost Vern for this test match, the communication between us and him was, go back to your length which you bowl in 4-day cricket, which is a little bit fuller, and use your skill set there. And it was great to see him adapt to that. Took him first ball of a spell he comes on, he was straight away on the money. So yeah, I'm very impressed with Dwan. He's bowling right through the summer, has been a great find for us as a test team. It's important that we start getting more depth in our bowling. As I've said many a times, we relied for a very long time on Dale and Vern, and when Morne was here and now KG, we need to start having more guys in the tank, so that you can perhaps in the future start maybe looking at rotating the seamers so they can be fresh. We've never been in a position where we've had 2 or 3 guys sitting in the wings. So hopefully what Dwan's bringing to the table is that now, that if we ever got a lot of test cricket in the summer or even one-day cricket before a test series, that we can rotate them a little bit more, so they can be fresh and also obviously from an injury point of view can prevent that.